And welcome to Alpo. Woo, today we're going to bite off a whole lot. We're going to be talking about Roe v. Wade. We're going to be talking about how did it come to this day, and we're going to look back in the past to understand how it began. So, buckle up your seats. And welcome to my show. Before we start, please subscribe to my channel and press that bell to give me some love out there. Okay. On YouTube. And welcome to those who are coming in now. Who'll be coming in later on today. I thank you so much for taking time to be with me, and make sure you give me that subscribe button. We're going to pull our head out of the sand because there's so much to untangle. And the date is January 22nd, 1973 was when the Roe v. Wade was passed on January 22nd, 1973. The Supreme Court issued a 7-2 decision in favor of Jane Roe, also Norma McCorvey, holding that women in the United States had a fundamental right to choose whether to have abortions without excessive government restrictions, and striking down Texas' abortion ban as unconstitutional. It's so interesting how as soon as it gets overturned, you know, Texas comes right back in there. So, what I really want to do here is, as I was looking at this and going into the past, so I go through 1973 and then now, and there's a lot of similarities between these 2 years. And that's one of the things I really what intrigued me and really inspired me to take a much deeper look at it. Okay, you see, as you get older, you start to see things over and over again, over and over. So you look at this year, and we're going to look at 1973. First of all, if you haven't seen this movie, it's called Soylent Green, and it came out in 1973, like I think April of 1973. And if you look there, it says it's the year 2022. People are still the same. They'll do anything to get what they need, and they need Soylent Green. Now, this is starring Charlton Heston. And if you have, it's an old movie, but it's very relevant. And one of the scenes in there is where people are waiting outside, or people are rioting, or people are homeless, and this is how they sweep them up. Does anything look familiar now? Is this what's to come? It's pretty strange. So, so I'm going to go over some of the things that was going on in 1973, and then I'm going to tell you what my reason for what I am pro-life or pro-choice. Okay, so we're going to go through the similarities between the 2 years. At that time, I was a Catholic in my second year of high school, which made me a sophomore. Okay, some call it, junior high, but it starts at freshman year. You go into high school when you're in the Catholic. You go to junior high till ninth grade. So, and there was a big talk going on about this. And there actually, when this passed, all the nuns and everyone, they all started crying, especially the nuns. And then the plans, they had plans. We our high school was up on a hill. Next to it was where the nuns stayed. There was a Catholic university literally right down the street. They called the Nazareth. Um, this was a huge Catholic place right here, and they were proposing to, and as a matter of fact, passed to build an abortion clinic right across the street. And when that happened, well, there was a whole lot of noise, and you know, we actually picketed it, and then they actually ended up not opening it. And it was a brand new building. I think they turned it into something else years later. It was literally abandoned for years. But of course, Planned Parenthood was just about a mile down the road from there, so it wasn't that big a deal. So let's talk about some of the similarities here. And number one, the U.S. economy in 1973, this is all 73, U.S. economy was plagued with high inflation. Sound familiar? An oil crisis. Sound familiar? Rising unemployment. Sound familiar? And the worst recession since the 30s. Sound familiar? Number two, the recession came about because of an OPEC oil embargo against the U.S. And then the major government spending on the Vietnam War. What's going on now? What did Biden just do? First of all, he puts them all down. Then he tells them we need more oil. You think they're going to give it to us? Nope. Also, a large Soviet purchase of corn, wheat, and soybeans during 1972, and a Wall Street crash that caused a bear market. Okay. Inflation tripled from 3.4% to 9.6% and put an end to the post-World War II economic expansion. Everything was growing. Everything. People were making more money, much more manufacturing. We were doing all kinds of stuff. And all of a sudden, okay, and now we're in the middle of the Vietnam War. All right. General Motors, Ford, and Chrysler laid off 100,000 workers. What's happening now? Elon Musk just laid off 10,000 with more to come. They don't have the parts for the cars. Wall Street was in a bear market, and stagflation presented a dilemma for U.S. economic policy. So, what is considered a bear market? A bear market is when a market experiences prolonged price declines. It typically describes a condition in which securities prices fall 20% or more from recent highs and widespread pessimism. How long do they last? The average bear market lasts approximately 10 months, while the typical bull market persists for over 2.5 years. And the word average should be noted because it actually could be longer. A bull market occurs when securities are on the rise, while a bear market occurs when securities fall for a sustained period of time. Now, President Nixon signed legislation that approved the construction of the Alaskan pipeline. What's going on now? President Biden is closing the pipelines. You know, the United States is the number one exporter of oil? Hard to believe, isn't it? Why should we have a crisis? What, we have oil. It's hard to believe. This is what's going on. This is what was going on. This is similar stuff. Similar stuff. In the year 1973, U.S. unemployment was 5.6%. The average family income was $12,900, and a new house cost around $32,500. Let that stick in your mind. Now the average house is $250,000. or more. People are making more money, but as you can see, what inflation has done. The retail price for a gallon of gas averaged 39 cents. The minimum wage was $1.60, and an ounce of gold cost $106. That same gold cost almost $2,000 now. And the minimum wage is still only what, $7.50, almost 50 years later. Back in 1973, walkie-talkies were popular Christmas gifts. Stovetop stuffing first appeared on grocery store shelves, and the average tuition at a four-year public college was $358. And now it's a mortgage. You want to know why college is so expensive? It's the administrations. Okay, it's what they pay the people to run them. That's why your costs are so high. The books are the same. It's the administration cost. We're going to go over that one day. Okay, and Martin Cooper invented the first handheld mobile phone. And Nathaniel Wyeth received a patent for shatter-resistant beverage bottles. Now, The Exorcist was the most popular film, which, by the way, was absolutely the most scariest movie. This is when scary movies first became what they are today. Just absolutely terrifying. I had dreams and even tried to read a book and it scared me. And that's nothing compared to what it is now. But I'm telling you, that was one scary movie. So now, here we come down to this on what is so relevant. Why then? Okay, why that date and then this date? Now, uh, it came on a Republican president. Okay, so it was under Richard Nixon's watch, so to speak. And I do believe the Democrats held the House. So, and it's interesting, same thing here. Joe Biden, a Democrat, the opposite, and it would the conservative Supreme Court basically rule. So why now? Why 49 years later are we here? What's the timing of this? Okay? Well, in my opinion, if this thing happened the way it happened, you would think that the Democrats would be on it already, trying to pass the bill and start working on this, like right now. What are they doing? What are they doing? They're on vacation. They're on vacation till the 8th of July. Then they come back for a few weeks, for 1 month, I believe, and then they go on vacation for another month. So they're on vacation, guys, while people sit and argue and go back and forth on this. And so before they left and before all this stuff all happened, and where are we again? Well, we're in a pro division. And I mean division like we've never seen. And this is what they want us. They want us divided. They want to take half of their work by making us fight amongst each other and spend time and judging each other. Half the work's done by making us fight. Now there's elections this year. And the Democrats are supposed to be taking a bath. And so this is going to get the young vote out to vote Democrat. That's the goal. Okay? Is to get more voters to come out, because On a regular, if you go through the voting history, the midterms are not as many people go out to vote in the midterms. Well, you can best believe people are going to be going out in the midterms now. Okay. Now, is it going to be enough to turn it? I don't know. I'm talking about, keeping the House at Democrats. But again, what, you know, what does it matter here as we go along? Okay. Because they pretend that they're all fighting against each other, but really they're really kind of on the same team. So we're going to know more about these elections, all to cause a division and also to get people to come out and vote. And this is what they're doing. Now we're in the midst of what's called the Great Reset. If you don't see it, I'm pointing it out to you right now. Okay. The Great Reset. Everything's changing. Everything. Everything. If you go back just a year and a half ago where we were, gas was $1.93. There was no inflation. Now, again, this is all written in the stars here, okay? So here at the end of the day, it's the value of life. And I value life. And it's why I'm pro-life. Okay, I am pro-life, and I'll tell you my story why I am pro-life. Now, yes, I was raised Catholic. Yes, I didn't even know what an abortion was until I heard the word in high school, okay? But let's go back to when I was born. You see, my mom's, she was not expecting another child. And she had already had my brother. And then the first time her and my dad did it, she got pregnant. So 90 days after, literally, she got pregnant with me. And she admitted it later that she didn't want me at the time. Now, of course, since she's changed that mind, okay, don't get me wrong. But at the time, there was no value in me. As some of these people are so eloquently saying that a baby inside, you call it a fetus, but that a baby has no value. And that you don't get value till you breathe. Well, you're already breathing. Your heart's beating. You're thinking. Okay? And if you've ever seen a film with an abortion, it could make you think twice about it. It's just like when I tell people, you really want to know what animals go through? Go watch the movie Earthlings. No one's ever taken my dare. But that will let you know what it's like to die. And so, if my mother in 1957 could have driven, which would have been about, we lived on 35th Street, and where Planned Parenthood was down on 47th, in the hood, because that's where they put them. There was none. Planned Parenthood wasn't there. And so my mother had me, even though she didn't want me. And now she realized the value of me. And this is why I'm pro-life, is because life is precious. And also, Everything is spiritual. Everything. And I'm just letting you know that every fetus or baby that is rejected and that is considered a parasite by that mother, Sophia, the Holy Spirit, she takes them. And if you have had an abortion, one day you'll have the fortune to meet the one you did. That's the way it's going to be. So I am pro-life, and I've always taken care. That's part of being responsible. And I think that's what it is. We're not talking about those special situations, which is literally 0.1% of the exception. And so for all of us, we have to know where we came from in order where we are today. And as we can see, this is so planned. They're so planned. We're all part of this. And so how we deal with it is we live in the moment and we have discussions. And we may not come to an agreement, but we can say we agree to disagree, and we can all still have a cup of coffee together. I respect the ones who are pro-choice. I can't change your mind. I could only give my opinion. And to me, that's value. So until next time, we'll see you again, where we're always going to take the subjects that are not easy to talk about and turn them into spirit.